guess that it's been 4 summers ago, but I finally got to watch this movie tonight. And I must say that I've actually had a ton of fun with it. It's actually not the kind of action film that you would go to expect a good story and some really great characters. This is just a typical monster movie. Giant creatures from outer space invade our planet. We build giant robots to fight them. That is the whole premise of the entire movie. Now, you know how most audiences take CGI for granted these days, yet somehow for the giant robots known as the Jaegers and for the giant creatures, it actually works. I actually give a lot of credit for director Guillermo del Toro for actually making it look this good. And it ain't no monster movie without having any human characters that everyone could relate to in this movie. You got actor Idris Elba as Stecker Pentecost in this film. This guy's supposed to be a veteran who's been fighting inside the giant Jaeger bots for years. The story for him is that he saved this little girl in the destroyed Hong Kong from the kaiju. The girl's name is Meiko Marie, played by Japanese actress Rinko Kikuchi. Stecker becomes Meiko's adopted daughter, and she grows up and becomes part of the giant Jaegers. You have to excuse me if that sounded awkward, because what I meant was she grows up and becomes part of the army who controls the giant robots. Our other main human protagonist is Raleigh Beckett, who is played by Charlie Hunnam. His story is that he's fighting inside one of the Jaegers with his brother Yancey Beckett. And I really got a kick out of them showing how the Jaegers work. 2 people are placed inside the giant robots and they have to think alike in order to move the whole thing at the same time. The giant Jaeger requires 2 people because it shows one person trying to control the whole thing and they just couldn't do it. Trying to work out the gadgets and mechanisms all at once would be too much for one person and would cause them to go into pain. Everything about the Jaegers, all the way down to the last detail, just looks incredible. With the computer-generated imagery used to its fullest potential, it looks great. However, besides the Jaegers, there is one thing that I can be really nitpicky about in this movie. Beckett gets himself into an all-out brawl with this other character whose name is Herc Hansen. At one point in the fight, you could see Beckett's face, so you could tell it wasn't properly dubbed over. You hear the line, but you don't see his lips move, and I found that to be a little hilarious. I can forgive Del Toro for that because it was only a tiny distraction. And as for the comic relief in this film, you got Dr. Newton Geisler, played by Charlie Day. I kind of like this guy because he plays the typical over-the-top nerdy stereotype in a movie like this. Studying the kaiju's anatomy and always being hyperactive wherever he is at the same time. It's understandable why people would get annoyed with these kind of comedic stereotypes. Unlike other comedic stereotypes who like to annoy the crap out of you. Hint, hint. And the other cool things about this film? Over in another one of the Chinese cities, Dr. Newton travels there to meet up with this guy named Hannibal, whose last name is Chow and he's played by the great Ron Perlman. I didn't pay enough attention to care about their storyline, but I kinda enjoyed it while it lasted. There's another good actor who appears in this film, and that is the great Max von Sydow, but he isn't in it for very long. But the real fun happens is when the Jaegers and the kaijus go head to head and just duke it out with each other. The giant fights look like a combination between boxing and wrestling and shooters, sick body slam moves and punches to the faces and guts, and pew 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 pew! Kaboom! Plenty of eye candy to behold, and it just keeps your attention. Not exactly the best action film that I've seen in a long time since The Dark Knight, but still, I had fun with it. I'll give Guillermo del Toro's Pacific Rim a 7 out of 10. So, for those who saw this at the theaters in the summer of 2011, what did you think about it? Be sure to let me know in the comments down below. And I'd like to thank you all very much for watching this, guys, as always, and be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'll catch you all on the flip side.